Hey guys, Alex here, and I wanted to review a video for y'all because I know that money can be tight, especially with college students. So I'm going to show y'all some gameplay, give you some of my opinions, and if you should hold off on getting the game or not. So first, I wanted to say that I recorded the gameplay off my original Xbox One. I'm sorry if there's any choppy frames. I don't have a capture card, and I had to stream the gameplay from my Mac. But don't worry, I'm only going to show you the first couple of hours of the gameplay, and I'm going to try and avoid any early spoilers. So let's get right into it. The biggest seller for any game is the gameplay. So how is it? It's actually pretty fun. It uses simple fight mechanics between light and heavy attacks, dodging and countering. It also has an MMO type of mechanic with intrinsic abilities and ultimate finishers. Think Destiny with its rechargeable specials. You can play as Thor, Iron Man, Black Widow, the Hulk, and Captain America, really the whole Avengers crew here, especially with an addition of a new character, Miss Marvel. Each hero having slightly different playstyles. You'll have Iron Man and Black Widow for more ranged attacks and shooting, Hulk and Miss Marvel for more melee-centric attacks, and Thor and Cap is a little bit of both. Though I will say my favorite part of the gameplay was throwing Thor's hammer at people and having it return to me like a force pull in Star Wars. Grabbing enemies with the Hulk and smashing them into the ground was always satisfying to me. But what I think is cool is how Iron Man plays, because it reminds me of Anthem, with how it feels and how it presents itself. What I think the gameplay is lacking, though, is fluid movement, and it feels very sluggish. Playing as the Hulk, you can see that when you're sprinting, it still feels and looks like he's moving really slow. The best way to get around would be to spam the jump button if you're traversing through like the big areas of the map. I also have experienced some frame rate issues when fighting a huge group of enemies spamming grenades and laser beams at me. I guess the game and my Xbox are both struggling, but I've also had issues with texture pop-ins and freezing and crashing on me a couple of times early on in my playthrough. The story is really good though. It has you play as Kamala Khan going to the Avengers Day event, but then it quickly goes south when some villains show up and do villainous things that leads to a lot of death and destruction. Well, after that, we jump a few years later, and now everyone hates the Avengers and faults them for what they call A-Day. Which kind of gives me some Civil War vibes with questioning the Avengers and how dangerous Inhumans can be. The voice acting is also really good, and Kamala does a great job of growing more in herself and becoming an Avenger. Oh, but quickly, I want to talk about how much this game reminds me of Destiny. Level design starts out linear, but it quickly goes very Destiny with an open world level design and having a group of enemies bunched up at different POIs later on in the game. And lastly, I think the game is fun and interesting to play, though I know that when you beat the game, you're supposed to jump over into the multiplayer, and that's where you're starting to build your own roster of heroes with your friends. Some people have complained that the game has too many microtransactions and that they're kind of pricey, but you don't have to worry about that. They're only cosmetics. And you're supposed to get free character DLCs whenever Square Enix pulls them out. And really, if you're just a huge fan of the Avengers or Marvel, and you like Destiny's type of formula, then I would really recommend this game for you. However, with so many other games coming out between now and through November, I would wait for this one to go on sale. But hey, that's how this gaming show is going to go. I show you a little bit of gameplay, give you a little bit of my thoughts and opinions, and now I want to know from you guys. What do you guys, are you guys going to get this game, or are you going to hold off on it? Let us know. For more gaming info, follow us at The Vista and U Central on social media at The Vista 1903 and at U Central Media.